If you look at the things I've uploaded recently, you'll see that I'm quite fond of coin-operated machines. If you happen to be a bit eagle-eyed, you may have even seen a few vintage toys in the background. These are two of my favorite things to collect, and it would stand to reason that if the two were to combine into one object, that object would be something I'd be quite interested in. And well, that's the case. Not only is this a vintage toy, it's a vintage toy that's a claw machine. Now, quite clearly, I own two real coin-operated claw machines. So I have no need for a little miniature toy version to get my fix at home. Rather, I'm interested in learning how this specific machine worked. That's what led me to collect coin-operated machines in general, especially claw machines, was learning how they functioned. And the thing about this toy is that it uses a completely unique mechanism. It's not like anything used on either of these machines.
And I'm not talking about how the crane itself moves, because that's just attached directly to these rods here.
And the rotating playfield? Well, that's just a motor wired directly to the battery. You just bridge the contacts with your coin when you put it in, and that completes the circuit. It's more so how the claw automatically opens and closes that stands out. Go away! Now on a modern crane, or in this case a vintage clean sweep crane, they still make them just like this today, what we have is a wire that runs to a coil inside this claw casing, and whenever that coil receives voltage down that wire, it magnetizes and draws up that plunger here. Now, the way that the operators would run their cranes is that they would adjust that voltage, raise it and lower it, until it was just so that they could give out a prize every so many plays, after they made a profit. So if they had something, like a stupid little puppy, they could make the claw stronger. If they had a nice big Garfield here, they'd make it a lot weaker. At least that's what I did
When I ran a claw machine business.
Now on this mechanical crane, what we've got is just two chains, and when one of them is taut, in this case the one's on the outside, the claw is open, and when the other is taut, it's closed.
This machine doesn't work like either of those. The claw will hold itself closed under its own weight, but whenever you lift it all the way to the top, these wings here will pry it open. And when that happens, this rod will fall into this groove here, which then holds the claw open. Whenever there's slack on this line, that rod will fall back out of place and the claw can close again. Now this is where the frivolity of this thing sort of shows. This mechanism only works about 50% of the time, and to even get that, you've got to be a bit violent with it. This rod doesn't always fall out of the claw the way it's supposed to, and there's enough slack between the top of the boom and the claw that you can't always open the claw properly. This is drawn all the way up. You have to kind of slam it down to get it to close and throw it at the top to get it to open. If I just draw the claw up slowly, that's all I get. Now obviously that's done to keep you from bending or snapping that boom over time, but this certainly wouldn't fly on a commercial machine.
But really, this is a kid's toy. I didn't buy it to play with it. I bought it to learn about that mechanism and to admire the vintage craftsmanship, and especially to display it. It looks quite good on a shelf. Now, I had a few of these newer toy claw machines when I was younger, and while they were fun, they were nowhere near as well made as the Remco crane. It's got such a distinctly old look to it, just like the commercial machine it was based on. It's almost striking to look at the two of these things together, to see how many real details they put into this toy. And all those extra stickers, the metal veneer coin plunger, and the solid metal claw,
They all make for something that's quite good looking.
These are pretty regularly available on eBay, and most of them are still boxed. However, they do fetch a pretty high price. I got mine for a bit of a deal because I bought it broken but in good cosmetic condition. It ended up just being a big plastic rod, which was an easy fix with epoxy. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this look at the Remco Coney Island penny machine, and outro. I don't know. I'm gonna have to edit this part out.